Our stake in the power industry started when we won the bid for National Power Corporation's decades-old 2x300 megawatt Batangas coal-fired thermal power plant in July 2009.
We were there really just to protect our interest in the mining business because we are the sole producer of coal, at least in the magnitude that we're in the Philippines. And unfortunately, we also have principally one market, and that's the government through NPC. Having said that, it was really a strategic move on our part to try to defend our market. Our interest was only to meet with the potential bidders who will become probably the new owners. So doon pa lang, medyo kilala na natin at hindi na mahirap magbenta. But then later on, as we moved on, we took particular interest in possibly acquiring it because we could see in the figures in our analysis that it could be a very profitable investment. Kalaka was really bidded 4 times, if I remember right. The first one, I think, was a failed bid. The second one was a funny bid in the sense that we got lost. We went to the wrong venue. And we were late too. But fortunately, both bidders were disqualified because our bids were all below the reserve price, meaning below what is the minimum price of the government. So hindi rin natuloy yung second bid. Then the third bid naman, pumasok na yung foreign groups at pumasok yung Tractable Suez. You know, marami silang pera and they bid it very high. So to make a long story short, nanalo sila. Mabuti na lang, they were not brave enough to do more what's necessary to make that plant viable. Nag-give up sila. So that's why there was a fourth bid. Nung fourth bid na, we were getting more and more serious and we got more and more information, became more confident. To the point na I had a very strong feeling I'm going to win the bid. It's like I could taste it, we're gonna win the bid. And I've been telling Sid, tayo mananalo. So we went into that final bid and we were the underdog because ang pagkaalam nila, kuriko tayo. Plus, we don't have the money anyway.
DMCI Holdings entered a bid of $361.7 million to acquire the Batangas plant in a negotiated sale conducted by SOM, besting Banfu Power Limited of Thailand.
Binuksan sabay ang bid eh. Pag-project yan, nakita nga panalo tayo. They were so surprised that DMCI could afford to bid $361 million because the last time we bid it was $160 million. So anyway, nanalo tayo. So wala sila magawa, nanalo tayo. So I called up Sid. Sabi sa kanya, pare, ikaw na may-ari ng Kalaka plant. He was quiet for a few seconds. Hindi siya makapaniwala. Niya talaga, kaya tayo panalo. Then he put down the phone. Sabi niya, tawag siya ulit. Niya, pare, saan ka kukuha ang pera? So yun na, tawa kami ng tawang dala because alam namin wala tayong pera. Well, that's it. We won. So ganun na nangyari. So from there on, everybody just got busy.
In a simple ceremony, the plant was turned over to us in December 2009. Accordingly, Semirara Mining and Power Corporation formed its wholly owned subsidiary, the Sem Kalaka Power Corporation, SCPC, to serve as owner of the recently acquired power plant. However, the Batangas power plant was not handed over to us in a silver platter. The poorly maintained power facility was generating far less than its rated capacity.
Unit 1 was built sometime in '84. Alright. It was originally designed to burn Semirara coal. Unfortunately, the design of the boiler didn't, shall we say, meet the specifications of Semirara. That is why the plant ended up using imported coal. Okay, during that time, the plant did run at 300, but that is using imported coal. And then later, sometime in 2003, the government decided to privatize Napocor, and it was sold to DMCI in 2009. So between 2003 to about 2009, the plant was literally limping. No spares, no proper maintenance was done to it. So the plant ended up running at 180, Unit 1, and then Unit 2 is at 200.
In the outset, we realized that major rehabilitation was needed and it had to be done soon.
Basically, my role here is to provide all the materials and equipment from the smallest screw up to the major equipment. So that's how extensive the role was. And our challenge is to provide all these materials in time, no? Because we have to coordinate it with our contractors, whether it's local or provided by the OEM, the manufacturer. So we have to coordinate all these efforts, put them into the right timing, especially for the arrival of the imported or the indent items. We see to it that we provide the right quality of equipment, the right quality of parts that are necessary, especially on the major and critical items of the plant.
In a span of 5 years, the company has already invested billions of pesos for rehabilitation efforts. All the money and hard work we poured in have obviously been reaping gains as the plant recorded its highest gross energy generation of 3,638 gigawatt-hour in 2013.
In 2013, considering that we already have a more reliable power plant and we have a good contract with our customers, we're able to increase our generation. Meralco is still our biggest market, consisting of about 83%, and then followed by TransAsia about 7%, and then Battle about 5%. Now that we are expanding, we are looking forward to improve further our sales. We are actually negotiating with various customers, several customers like from the distribution utilities, generators, direct customers, industrial customers are really interested of contracting with us. What we have now is a complete progressive approach of obtaining sustainable growth, eventually come up with a better future for our company.
Semirara's investment in the power business way back in 2009, the share price at the time was 36 pesos per share, and as of today, it's more than 10 times. It's more than 360 pesos per share already. In the span of 4 years, the equity of Semirara, or investment in Calaca, was already recovered. The power business is really the growth driver of the company, or Semirara Mining and its subsidiaries. And moving forward, the expansion of the power business, investors no longer look at Semirara or perceive Semirara as a coal mining company, but a power company. Before the expansion, the valuation and the share price, investors put in like 40% coal and 60% power. And moving forward, as our expansion will be realized and be implemented, it would be more like 20 to 30% coal and then 70% power. With the vertical integration to the power business, we're really looking forward that this will put strength to the financial position and financial condition of Semirara Mining Corporation.
The realization of the bigger dream became evident with the forward integration into the power business. The new investment in power brought our company to a new level, expanding our business from coal mining to energy production, creating a distinct synergy that compounds our business value. When the 600 megawatt Calaca power plant was acquired, it was merely generating less than 60% of its rated capacity.
So the first agenda was to restore capacity to its rated, which is 300. We started rehab of Unit 2 in 2010, and then Unit 1 just last year. On the boiler side, we have replaced around 60 to 70% of the pressure parts of the boiler. On the turbine side, it was checked, analyzed by OEM. Right now, it's in very good condition. In Unit 2, we did the same. We've hired Foster Wheeler to do the boiler, supply, install, and commission. it's doing good right now. It's carrying 300 megawatt. The generator, it's doing good. It's at 300 right now. So in the future, we're looking at improving it or increasing Unit 2 to 330 megawatt. We now have a contract with Alstom to do the engineering study on this, and we intend to start with the project by next month.
The plant is a pulverized coal type of technology and uses indigenous Semirara coal as fuel.
That barge will eventually dock in the pier and will be unloaded using one of the unloaders. And then the coal is again conveyed, passing the vetometer to determine the tonnage delivery and also the sampling house to determine the coal sample laboratory analysis. And then it is being stockpiled using the stacker reclaimer to the stockpile area. In the coal yard, the shipment is being recorded properly by our control operator for determination of the coal and its quality as required by the plant for optimum generation of our power plant.
We are here in the area of pulverizer and boiler. From the coal handling system, ang coal na nireclaim sa coal yard, isusupply nila sa coal silo, pulverizer coal silo. Then yung coal, bababa yun by gravity sa coal feeder. Yung coal feeder, yun ang magsusupply ng coal papunta ng pulverizer.
Grinding the coal into powder increases its surface area, which helps it to burn faster, producing as much heat and as little waste as possible.
Or paglabas na sa pulverizer, ang size nilang niya is talcum powder size, na meron naman tayong primary air supply galing primary air fan. Yung primary air na yon ang magko-convey sa pulverized coal papunta ng burner. So may isa pa tayong supply ng air, yun ang secondary air. Yun ang combustion air. Tumutulong siya para sa magandang combustion ng coal doon sa loob ng boiler. So ang boiler natin or ang steam generator, by the name itself, siya ang nagpo-produce ng steam.
The hot steam expands in the pipes, so when it emerges, it is under high pressure that drives the steam over the blades of the steam turbine.
Ikukulik ang steam, dadalhin ng turbine, then yung steam na yun ang magro-rotate sa turbine rotor, at yung turbine rotor naman, naka-directly coupled yun sa generator.
The shaft connects the steam turbine to the turbine generator, so when the turbine spins, so does the generator.
So the generator is being driven by the turbine. The turbine is driven by steam coming from the boiler. And the generator is rotating at 3,600. We're using DC power to excite the generator to basically produce electricity. Now it is being measured, and then it is being sent to the switch yard and then to the consumers.
Circulating water used to condense steam is drawn to the Balayan Bay via the circulating water system, while raw water is pumped from the Canlao River and passes through a demineralizer water treatment system, which produces highly pure water for boiler consumption. The power business has steadily evolved into a potential cornerstone of our overall corporate strategy. Or in the words of our great patriarch, What we have so far achieved in this regard can be attributed to our unrelenting drive for excellence, the very hallmark of the DMCI group of companies. Our vision of the future is anchored on what is made possible here and now, ensuring that we are well equipped to take on the challenges of a very dynamic business environment that is the power industry. Alongside the major rehabilitation efforts we have done, we have likewise introduced vital innovations on the way we add value to our corporate existence.
Nandito tayo ngayon sa control room ng 2x300 megawatts coal plant sa Kalaka. At mula dito sa control room, nakikita ng mga operating personnel kung ano ang actual na nangyayari sa kabuuan ng planta. Yung conversion process from the chemical fuel dun sa coal hanggang maging electricity. Kung makikita nyo dun sa background, ang nakikita dun sa malaking monitor ay 4 na parameters. Ang unang-una, yung nakalagay ko ilang megawatt. Yan ang actual na napuproduce namin megawatt sa kasalukuyan, real time. Nakalagay din doon sa yung 181 ay ng drum pressure. Importante yung drum pressure relative sa load natin. At yung RPM, normally yung RPM 3,600, hindi masyadong gumagalaw yan, ganun din yung frequency natin. Pero yung dalawang parameter, yung load at yung pressure, palaging nakamonitor sa mga operators yan. Hindi lang yan ang importanteng parameter na minemeasure. Pero from a business point of view, yan ang importante. Alam natin kung ilang megawatts na puproduce natin at every instant at paanong karaming coal ang ginagatong natin para makapag-produce ng ganong karaming megawatts. Ngayon, importante, hanggat maaari, 300 megawatts tayo palagi. Pagka yan, mas mababa sa 300 megawatts, may magandang kadahilanan. Bakit mas mababa sa 300 megawatts? Ang operator ay concerned doon para makasiguro na ang load natin, yung maximum na kaya natin, na kayang tatanggapin ng system. Yung system, hindi mo pwedeng ialis sa equation natin yung system natin, kasi kailangan may mag-absorb ng power na pinuproduce ng planta. Otherwise, hindi unstable ng system natin. Pero most of the time, lalo ngayon, yung power ng bawat planta, importanteng maximize yung production ng power dahil marami na ngalang industry ng power.
What we have acquired in 2009 was not merely an old plant, but a technically abled but aging workforce.
Prior to taking over the plant, when the PRLO was passed, maintenance of the plant, spending on them, hiring new people was no longer being done. So one of the things that we noticed was the average age of our employees were a little bit on the mature side. We know that there will be quite a number of our engineers who will be retiring over those coming years. The other side of the issue is that when we took over, we immediately saw the potential of Kalaka. So the plant needed a lot of rehab, but related to that rehab, we also had to rehab the people so that they can look forward to really a performance-driven culture. Now it's a private sector plant. If it doesn't run, we get zero. That means losses. So very quickly, the mindset has to change towards having a plant that works continuously, day in and day out, producing power, because that's the only way we can get output, the only way we can get returns on our investment. One concept quickly came to mind, which is a cadet engineers program, where we bring in relatively young engineers in their 20s, get them through. Most of them, if not all of them, we anticipate will not have had power plant experience. We will get people who will not have any power plant experience, but will have the right education. So we're looking at mechanical engineers and electrical engineers who have already passed the board exam and say, okay, let's use this as raw material, develop them, train them, and see how we can use them eventually to run our future plants. So our first batch actually was in late 2010. Using this, we were able to get a first group of 8 cadet engineers, which joined us around the end part of 2010. And we put together actually a 2-year program. A first year in which they will be going around from department to department, sections to sections of the plant so they can get a very good overview of the plant, how it operates and so on. So a year later, we put together another batch. This time we were able to bring in a batch of 15. So by the late 2011, we had 15 new cadet engineers. That was again successful. Following year, 2012, we again decided to go and do the same thing. And we got a batch of 20. This was our largest batch of 20 people. Again, they went through that process. So fast track that to today, we're very pleased to go and say today that we have most of these people rejoining the new plant to go and be the nucleus of that new plant. Incidentally, in 2013, late 2013 and early 2014, we continued this program again, and we had a batch of 17. Those 17 are undergoing the program today, and we expect that these 17 will be participating and will be transferred to the plants that we currently have, either the new plant or the existing plant, so that they will be again working as engineers. As of date, then, we have over close to 50 people that have been in this program. We are looking at another batch by the end of this year to start next year, probably another 20 to 25. So we are very pleased with the program that we've established. We will continue it definitely so that we can be assured of having not only good equipment and good plants working, but more important, good people, good engineers to run them.
In June 2012, we rolled out a comprehensive effort to secure an ISO certification. This naturally required a culture of quality to be deeply ingrained on the way we do things. After more than 2 years of institutionalizing capability-building activities on quality management among our workforce, we were finally conferred an ISO certificate by SGS Philippines on July 28, 2014. From here on, all our stakeholders are now assured of receiving internationally acceptable service standards. That is our commitment under the quality management system. Meanwhile, in our desire to adopt a sustainable housekeeping program within the Calaca Power Plant Complex, we commenced the implementation of our 5S program in June 2013. The program is aimed at maintaining an orderly working environment for work efficiency and effectiveness. Founded on the Japanese method of workplace organization, we have developed and implemented 5S projects in the various areas of the plant. Looking forward, the goal of our 5S program is to further develop projects and ultimately have the 5S principle entrenched on site as part of the normal workplace activities.
Ngayon, nandito tayo sa Dacanlao, Agoncillo National High School. Itong ating location ngayon is the biggest donation of SEM Calaca Power Corporation as part of its CSR program, Corporate Social Responsibility. We take care of our host community. So for this company, our host municipalities are the municipality of Calaca and the municipality of Balayan. Donated or constructed 11 projects equivalent to 56 classrooms. And this project right now is the biggest, having 21 classrooms. It's a 4-story, complete with science laboratory, computer laboratory, and speech laboratory. And we also donated chairs, which came from our Zamboanga affiliate. And the other projects are also located in the different barangays of Calaca. And we have one 6-classroom, 2-story project in Balayan, which is the Balayan National High School.
Environmental stewardship and social responsibility are among our core values.
Nandito tayo ngayon sa outfall. Dito lumalabas ang ating water na galing sa condenser. Ito ay seawater. So, sa environmental naman, nung panahon ng government, NPC time, lahat ng mga monitoring and analysis ay in-house. Ngayon, as a private company, tinuloy pa rin natin yung in-house monitoring. But we are now required by DENR to have a third party to analyze our air quality, water quality, at saka yung noise. Yung MMT natin ay may representative sa local community at ang DENR. So, talagang yung mga results na nakukuha ay talagang pinapatunayan na these are real results. During our last dive, marami ho tayong mga nakitang mga iba-ibang mga shells, mga corals, mga native clams. As a matter of fact, parang naging sanctuary itong area natin sa may bandang pier. Last summer, we had visitors from the California School of Science, dalawang biologists, marine biologists. Nakita nila ang ating area ay maganda ho, buhay na buhay po ang ating dagat dito.
The 167-hectare property is envisioned to be a power plant complex that will house more than 1,000 megawatt in additional capacity.
In line with our goal of powering the nation by 2020, the Calaca site can accommodate up to 2,000 megawatts of generating capacity. We have the first existing plant that is currently operational with 600 megawatts, Phase 1 expansion that is 300 megawatts that is under construction, Phase 2 expansion which is 350 megawatts that is under negotiation, and finally a 700 megawatt plant that is under investigation. With the current existing 600 megawatt plant, the improvements are focused on manpower and asset development. With regards to asset development, other than the overhaul and overall plant rehabilitation for both units, the group has focused in developing an enterprise asset management system. This enterprise asset management system will help us increase the availability and reliability of its assets. On top of this, we are finishing commissioning of an improved distributed control system, which will further enhance the monitoring capability of our instruments. This is our plan for the future, and as we work towards becoming a key player in the power industry, we strive to deliver quality and affordable electricity for the nation.
We have shown our firm resolve in surmounting the challenges that come our way and carry on to be the bridge for the future of the country's power industry. Everything has become possible because of the synergies we have developed, and more importantly, because of our people of unwavering commitment.
Our investment in the power industry sector, I think, is one of the direction that we think that positively will be a big impact for DMCI Holdings. And this was made possible because the people behind the Calaca power plant did their best, and we have the plant and really put it in top condition so that in the end it will produce the necessary megawattage that it should give. And I believe that in the end our corporation will last, provided that we are all united for this purpose. Maraming salamat.
Calaca Power Corporation, powering the nation's progress by 2020.